So the data that we're looking at indicates that we might be seeing the beginning of the end of the Texas slump. The employment growth numbers came in very strong in third quarter, more than tripling to 2.6% annualized in the third quarter. This is up from minimal job growth in the first half of the year, about 0.9%. And in addition, we surpassed the national job growth rate in the third quarter for the first time since the fourth quarter of 2014. Some other data that points to potentially the end of the slump in the Texas economy is our surveys of businesses across the state and in our district. They're pointing to continued expansion in both manufacturing and services. And additionally, we're starting to see some of the headwinds for the Texas economy wane, namely increases in the West Texas Intermediate crude oil price and some lessening of the strength in the trade-weighted value of the dollar. We recently incorporated the second quarter 2016 early benchmark to our Texas employment, and the most notable revision that had was in the energy sector. So the initial data showed that we had seen an increase in energy jobs in the third quarter of this year, but the revised employment data after incorporating this benchmark actually showed energy sector continues to contract. We continue to see job losses in this sector, but the third quarter is at a much slower pace than we saw earlier in the year. We recently saw an increase in the Texas unemployment rate to 4.8% in September. This is 0.5 percentage points higher than the low reached in March. But recent increases in the unemployment rate here in Texas are due to more people entering the labor force. We're seeing more people enter the labor force because they're optimistic about finding a job. So all of the major metro areas in the state of Texas are growing in the third quarter of 2016. Now, what we've been seeing is that Austin, San Antonio growing at a slightly slower pace in third quarter than they did in the first half of the year. Dallas and Fort Worth, job growth has actually picked up pace in the third quarter, and now Houston is really the outlier. We saw job losses in Houston in the first half of the year, and they've rebounded, and we're seeing job gains in the third quarter.